Hello everyone and welcome for another animation live stream. Today we're going to continue to animate another character animation. We are continue to work on this little dialogue shot that we started in the last couple streams. So let's have a look at what we already have. Oh, and you see here, down here, my cat is joining us today as well. Of course she comes up right when I start streaming. I was playing and everything with her to calm her, but yeah, she wants to be right here on the desk. Yeah, let's have a look at what we were doing. We animated this little snippet from an improv show called Very Important People that's running on Dropout, and the fantastic Brian David Gilbert is a villain in this improv show who's being interviewed, and this is what we animated so far.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing, if not malice?
It's simply being absolutely correct.
Do you think?
Yes, I think that what you're hearing is just a person who knows beyond all doubt that they are right. Oh, isn't there a...
Yeah, so that's what we have so far. Of course, this is only the blocking for our little scene. I hope you could hear it. Let me know if you should be able to hear music and you should be able to hear the dialogue. So yeah, this of course is just like a animatic style blocking. We were just finding some poses. We did a bunch of thumbnails, and this is the poses that we decided for. And now we have the interesting task to put the whole thing into 3D. And the rigs that I'm using here are from Blender Studio. They are free. You can just download them. They don't work as well in Blender 4. So I had to downgrade to Blender 3.6 for all the features, for all the Cloud Rig features that the rig brings. But yeah, they're really cool, cartoony characters, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun to take it from our scribbles here, from just our very rough, not very to proportion scribbles, and put them to the final voice track. I think that's gonna be really nice. Yeah, off stream I already got a little chair. I'm really proud of this chair because I this was my first time doing a model in a really long time, and I did kind of sort of remember stuff on how to do things. I already have a texture, but I better do not switch to the preview because that might make the stream lag. So yeah, we're ready to do the first pose now, I guess. And this next task is just a translating the scribbles that we made and put them into 3D poses. Maria's here, also with kitties. Wonderful. That's the best way to enjoy life, isn't it? Oh, Rainbow. Yeah. She really likes my beard since I have it. It's a really good scratching pose, I suppose. Alrighty, let's see. So I should probably put the scribbled and this side by side. Doing a little bit of juggling around here so we can always see what we're doing. Let's listen to it so we know what the spirit of things is.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of...
Okay. Oh, one thing I actually forgot to look up is how to do selection sets in Blender. That might be something we should do. Because just as an explanation, I think adding selection sets or some kinds of selection shortcuts is really recommended for working with any kinds of rigs. I mostly work with 2D rigs, so apologies, I occasionally have to look something up in Blender. I haven't animated in Blender in a long time, but it's always cool to revisit this program and see how far it has come. Blender bone selection set. That's kind of the cool thing. Like, as soon as you reach a certain level in animation, you know what buttons to look for. Is it an add-on? Bone selection sets. It's an add-on. Okay, so I see if I can get that working in the break. Let's just start that. So, I only made a little test here to see how it would be, how big the chair has to be, essentially. I was testing a little bit if we put the upper arm touching the chair, how it would look, and resting the legs, so that I hope a lot of things that we planned with like crossing the legs and stuff is still possible. I do want to make a pose here that is a little bit more sunken in, like he was already like listening a lot.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And
like he's being confronted with like, hey, aren't you a villain? Isn't there villainy? But I think he was already feeling pretty comfy throughout the interview here, so I think he's just leaned back and relaxed and is just like, oh, it doesn't really matter. I also wonder if we might still want to tweak the camera position. Because I want to experiment with if we put the camera a little bit more frontal, so we potentially have like an over-shoulder shot. Yeah, I think something like this, and she will potentially be like here. Of course, sitting down as well. Probably should go a little bit... we are on eye level, more or less. So, going maybe a little bit lower. A little bit lower and rotating up. It's kinda important to get the camera angle right first, because some things you might want to animate to the camera and you want to know where the characters are looking at. So maybe let's set her down too, at least roughly, put her in a sitting down position. And no, that's not it. Pose mode. Of course, I have forgotten all the shortcuts. It's only coming back to me occasionally. Oh boy, we still have IK running here. I do really like exploring the shot in 3D, because you can just pick up the camera and move it anywhere. I think that's just so much nicer than in 2D animation, where all you can do is redraw the thing. Alright, so I think this is looking pretty good. Oh, and one thing that I should also do is save a new version. I like to save versions, and better than saving a new version number when you are done working is when you start working, so you know that, at the end of the day, version 2 will be whatever I get done, or big milestones that I get done today, the first big milestone. However that is going to look. So I do want to lean him back more. So let's put the camera here so we always have an eye on it. go into the rig, into pose mode, and as far as the spine goes, I think we leave it on forward kinematics. Oh, that's the leg. Is this the first big one? There must be one earlier. Yeah, this one. So I want him like a really like sunken in belly. I think this is good if we can get the upper body up again. Is it going through? I mean, it doesn't matter as much if we are going through the... I do like the little fold that is folding there. I wonder if we should exaggerate it a little bit. No, I think the lean back is pretty good. He almost gets like a little double chin from his overall. I think that could be really funny. Pose-wise, we're almost there with the arms, I guess. We just need to maybe... Where exactly is his elbow? His elbow is right at this little sleeve bobble. Okay, so I guess this will be the most pulled out part then. And moving that down. That is nice. And we wanted to have a more straight arm on this one. I'm already liking this. I mean, I'm kind of happy that I already got like a little bit of a head start off stream with this pose, because like interacting with the... making sure that it's touching it. Actually, I wonder if we should switch... We should probably switch to FK. What is the next pose?
Oh,
There's someone on Facebook saying hello. Hello, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about art and animation, let me know.
oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is.
Okay, so when he lifts up that that hand, we switch from IK to FK. So inverse kinematics, in case you don't know what that is so right now we are in forward kinematics. So I move the upper arm, and the upper arm moves both the lower arm and the hand, and the lower arm moves both the lower arm and the hand moves the hand and the fingers, and it's a chain going up to down. It's going from the highest parent to the lowest child. And if we switch on inverse kinematics, IK, we're gonna have the opposite. And this allows us to pin the hand to the chair here. So IK is switched on. Now we only need to FK IK switch left thigh, right thigh, left upper arm, right upper arm. So I guess, yeah. Can we match FK and IK? There's no button for that. Oh boy. So we're gonna have to position him again. This time using IK, and you can already see what this means. We are moving the wrist, and it is moving the rest of everything. And there might be, yeah, there is a controller for the elbow here. So let's take that, Get the elbow in the relaxed position down here. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Are you enjoying a weekend or are you working? What's going on? What's going on in the world? Let me rotate this over. Flap this down. And now we're almost there. There we go. Yeah. I think it's going quite well. And now the advantage of the IK is, if we now move the upper body, this will save us a lot of work. If we move the upper body, you can see that the hand stays where it is. So this is gonna be helpful. I actually think we need to do the same for the legs too. The legs are currently FK as well, because there are some motions where he is like getting making some gestures with the feet. Let's
isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice?
This would be FK when he's lifting the feet off the ground. I guess we can leave it in FK for now. Someone on Facebook says, know you from the great animation exercises. These are great. Glad you're enjoying them. Did them, and when I teach interns, I go directly to them after the 12 animation principles. That is awesome to hear. I really like them too. I'm teaching a lot too with those exercises, and it's just so much nicer than, you know, just the bouncing ball and the usual suspect. I'm very glad that JK wrote these exercises, and I'm glad that people are still to this day doing them. In case you don't know what they are, the 51 animation exercises, you can Google them. It's basically 51 prompts if you want to practice animation. Yeah, and you kind of can. The awesome thing about it is also that it is kind of all skill levels. So after you've done them, you can probably just do them again with your now higher skill level that you acquired when working on it. So let's go to the very top here. And then we have a nice asymmetric pose where both wrists are doing something different. That is really nice. And we still got interesting angles, I think. And doesn't he already look a lot more relaxed? I think this is really nice. Elbow. We shouldn't forget about relaxing the elbow a little. I always feel like when I come back to 3D after having done a lot of 2D animation, I'm kind of frustrated by how it feels like tucking on a puppet here a little bit, there a little bit. It's like it doesn't have the fluidity of like a pencil line that is like floating out of your wrist. You know what I mean? It feels like 3D animation always feels a lot like I don't know, like you do a little bit here, you do a little bit there. Maria says, busy world for me this weekend. Our little theater has a fundraiser, so we're prepping for that. And I wanted to do some writing too on my play. That sounds exciting, Maria. Awesome. Good luck with the fundraiser. I really hope you can get some money together. That would be awesome. It's always comes down to money that we can do the things that we want to do. And yeah, exciting. Good luck with your play. Can you give a synopsis of it already, or is it not in that stage yet? Not ready for the public? comment on Facebook. Even now, after years in the industry, I still have to focus to make a good bouncing ball. Yeah. It's also, I feel like because there's no right way to do animation, it can always be like you can self-impose challenges pretty much infinitely, you know. With the bouncing ball, you can be like, okay, now I make a sad bouncing ball, now I make a happy bouncing ball, now I make a bouncing ball that should really feel like a squirrel. And I feel like the more professional you get, the more you're tempted to self-impose these ideas, because you know they make animation fun. At least that's that for me. Like I really have, like, especially if I'm teaching animation, I sometimes have to remind myself not to make it too complicated. You know, not be like, oh, this could be a squirrel and the squirrel is jumping up for food and stuff like that, when it's just like I should just teach them the basics. I shouldn't get all fancy with the acting right now. Alright, I like this little angle coming in there. And of him maybe looking around a little bit, opening up the space. He's going a bit through everything here. But does it matter? We could scooch him a little bit forward in his entirety, but I think if it looks good to the camera, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Because now we're scooching him out of his root bone. Well, I guess not really. I guess him sitting down is already kinda getting him out of that zero position that the rig usually has. Maria's play, based on history. Almost all of my plays are. That's very exciting. I love historic fiction. Two character, Isabel of Castile and her daughter Juana. I must say I'm not that familiar with that. La Loca. Ah, okay, interesting. Maria thinks that despite Juana being called La Loca, that she wasn't insane at all. Interesting. That sounds exciting. Yeah, good luck with that. That's really cool. What I like so much about writing is how it, you know, you write something and you're so much closer to the end shape of things. If it's like, for theater, I mean, a whole theater production is still a lot of work. But I feel like with animation, you're always so infinitely far away from actually getting it done. I do have to admit, I haven't done theater since school. But I think it's kind of exciting that, you know, of course you can make it as complex and complicated as you want, but thinking about just going on stage and then, you know, you basically can bring something to life there. Feels like a very interesting medium. Okay, so I don't know what to do with the teeth. First of all, we should search if there is like a teeth button controller thing. Can get rid of some of the teeth controllers. What is this? Oh, that might be the tongue that we don't see right now. Okay. Maybe also tongue. Where is... Oh, those are probably... No, those aren't the teeth. Yeah, you can see that I kind of skipped rig exploration a little bit. That is the one. Okay. Interesting question. Did you start with 2D or 3D? And what made you learn the second? So I'm a 2D animator. For pretty much my entire life, I've mostly done 2D animation. That was what inspired me to go into animation, like, you know, Lion King, Aladdin stuff. That was what I was extremely fascinated with as a kid. Ooh, curved teeth. Oh, that's silly. And during my studies, I have had contact with other forms of animation. Of course, we are, well, not forced, but, you know, just the first of all, 3D was, of course, the most represented one. There's the tongue. Okay, that's good to know. So most people were doing 3D, and if I was helping them, I also animated in 3D if some of my colleagues made a film and they needed help. So I got in touch with other animation forms very early on, but I still very much like frame-by-frame animation the most. Unfortunately, it's usually not feasible to really animate frame-by-frame because it's just so much work. And neither for clients nor for private personal projects I've worked on frame-by-frame animation in a while. What I did a lot for clients was 2D rigs, which is why some things are kind of familiar for me in Blender, because 2D rigs of course have a lot of the same principles as 3D rigs. So that's why this jump isn't as jarring for me. But yeah, I still very much love 2D animation, and there's just a directness, which is why whenever I do 3D animation, I usually make these little animatics here. Because it just comes easier to me, and it comes easier to like find the line of action and wrap a pose around it and stuff like that. Yeah. What are you doing? Are you doing mostly 3D animation? How did you get into it? Maria says, I love how animation and theater work kind of link up. When you animate, you have to think like a playwright, a director, an actor, and a technician. It's great. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of shared aspects, a lot of the same stuff, you know? You're bringing something fictional to life. Of course, there's a huge overlap. Well, I feel like as I said, I haven't done theater since like elementary school. But I think what I think is so cool about theater, like you can write a script and then you can technically, even without costumes, and you can already go on a stage and perform it, which I think is really exciting. And then, of course, you know, you can make it as complicated as you want and get props involved and awesome costumes and have really complicated scripts that are difficult to learn and stuff like that. I feel like, you know, as everything is probably an open end to how much work you can put into it. But in animation, I feel like the threshold where it goes from nothing to actually something that feels final is so high is sometimes so annoying. Maybe I'm just frustrated right now. But it's always cool to, like, you know, bring two crafts together. I think it's so fascinating. You can always benefit from that. It's really cool. Please 2D animation. Well, today we're not doing 2D animation. Today we're doing 3D animation, but there's like hours and hours of live streams with 2D animations and 2D animation content on this channel. So I'm sure you'll find something there that might that you might enjoy. And now I talk so much, I'm nowhere closer to finding how to switch off the teeth. So I guess we can just move the teeth out. I mean, I guess that's how you also would do it in most other rigs. Like if you have a realistic human and you don't want the teeth to show up, then I guess you just move them, like you move the lips in a way that you can't see the teeth as much. So let's do that. Wrap mouth, we should probably keep that on. Face? High teeth! There we go! Yeah, I think high teeth, like, because this could have like a little bit more of like a stop motion feeling, I think we can just have his teeth pop in when we need them for like the S sounds. Okay, so face extras, face tweak. Okay, so face extras is the one that has the teeth. And that's it, isn't it? Okay, that's good to know. We need to keep that in mind. Yeah. So I think we might later throw all of the when we actually do lip sync, I think we might just start again with the mouth shapes, and we make a nice little mouth shape pose library. But I think it can't hurt to get a little bit familiar with the tools here. How the rig was set up. No, this is the one. Oh my. This would be so much easier to actually just draw. I do like the stop motion-y feel of this rig. It feels so much like, especially these kinds of lips are used in like Artman productions all the time. Oh, really good point. Comment is a full-on 2D animator for about 7 years now. That's a career, all right. Awesome. I still managed to get sucked a little bit into Blender doing modeling. Oh, okay, cool. 3D animation is too stiff for me. I love the very dynamic and messy aspect of 2D. I hear you. So, like, you can make very dynamic and messy 3D, but it's so much work, and you need to, like, put so much time and tricks into making it work, where in 2D animation you can just do a crazy line and, you know, make it as crazy as you want and do pretty much anything without having to rig something or deform some geometry. Like I can really understand that. That's what I like about it too. And actually, you know, this is a little bit of a like, this is not going to be like a super cartoony animation. I wanted to do something not subtle. It's not a subtle acting thing what we're doing here. It's Show overlays? No, show overlays, but no X-ray. Okay, that's what I wanted. But I still do want to push the pose. And talking of it, we haven't tried to rotate the spine sideways. What is this controller for? What are you for? Is that the backpack that we switched off? It might be the backpack. And it's just spine chest. Oh, that's probably the I think that there's a spine IK. Let's see if we get. Oh, I think this is nice. A nice, like, lean to the right. I like him getting a little bit of a belly here. Let's see the shoulder. There's always so much you can do with the shoulder. Maybe like this. Okay. This is taking so long. 3D animation. Oh, there are no shoulder blades. Interesting. Do I see that correctly, that there are no shoulder blades? This seems to be the FK upper body. No, wait. This is the upper arm. Then this is the shoulder, but only in FK. Oh, you can still go up and down, but you can't go up by a lot. Okay, I see. All right, no worries. We're gonna do it with this one then. So I don't necessarily want a negative space here under the armpit, but I don't want the shoulder to sink too low. I think this might be kind of nice. Now we need to adjust the head. And I think I like the head having a little bit of a dent here. Like having a little bit of a negative space, or we go really far. I do like him leaning back and being like, oh, this interview, I control everything. I do like the hair coming out, kinda. The hair is clipping through the chair, so... It kind of also looks interesting having lean back and look forward. Okay. Now to the eyes. And here I'm not sure how extreme we might go there. How much wider we actually make them. I already know from playing around that I do like them getting a little bit like slanted upwards. I think I really like that in the animatic, and I think what's also cool is have them offset just a little more than might be necessary. I guess we can always set them to 0, 0 if we want the position back, right? Okay.
Oh, isn't there a little bit? Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice?
Okay. Not 100% happy with this one. I have not quite figured out yet what orientation to use. If we use, well, global, not local, gimbal, normal, local, and normal look similar. Well, let's take local for now for placing the wrist here. Or actually, how does global look? I can just pull it out. Yeah, I can. We can also rotate him more to the left. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. To get a more straight arm, because you know his arm needs to be longer here then. Okay. I think this looks the most relaxed. We have a nice, I like the curve in the spine. Look at this. We got a really, oops, come on. Got a really nice whoop line of action going through him. That's really cool. Oh my god, 40 minutes and we're still on pose number 1. But it will pay off, I am very sure. Rise the elbow a little bit here. Some spooky music. We're getting closer to Halloween. Anyone else excited about Halloween? I love Halloween. We already, my wife and I actually started watching a bunch of horror movies. It's actually, recently is the first time I ever saw Scream. I'm really glad I did. Really solid filmmaking, really nice. And it has this like excellent 90s feel to it. Okay. Yeah, Maria, I think so too. We got a nice flow, right? Nice flow head to toe. Speaking about the feet though, we still have to switch them from FK to IK. The IK controllers are still back here. Or did we decide against it? How is it?
In that voice, and there never is. There really never is.
So what is...
So he does have both arms on the chair. So in theory, he could scooch forward by going up. Question is if there is a moment where that might be good to do.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. There later, I think there's a scoot forward, but here we can leave it like that, I think. See you later, Maria. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, and so I wonder about turning the knee inwards a little bit. How does that look? Does that completely destroy that beautiful floor? Oh, he's not reaching the floor anymore. Oh boy. Or is he? How can I make sure without switching the renderer on? You know how I can make sure? Using IK. Okay. So, Cloud Rig. FK IK switch. There we go. And there we go. And now let's grab the foot target wherever it is. No, come here. Yeah, this might be easier. Hey Ines, thank you for subscribing. Welcome, welcome. He has such tiny feet. He is such a beautiful character design. So cartoony, so nice. Okay, so this is pretty much how I wanted it to be, and this. And he's not sinking into it too much. That's good. I think that's also interesting to play a little bit with the offset of the leg. Or we have this leg be the one that goes out, and this one the one that goes inward. And here. I think I like this rhythm more. Oh. I love these gummy limbs. Cutting into the silhouette of the chair here. This is more stable. I like it more like that. This is good. Okay, so knee, I guess this works. How does it look if it goes inward? That's silly. That's just silly. I mean, I guess this character would be a man spreader. He's so sure. Okay, how do we take the foot up just like this? I guess. And same here. And I think this will really pay off though, because all we need to do, we can give him a little scoot motion and it will all work automatically. We can do whoop, 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 bong, 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 dong, 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 whoop, whoop. Okay. Works as intended, perfectly. Okay. I think we got our first pose. No, that looks too... I do like the difference in angle. That one foot is going a lot more sideways. Okay. I guess we're just gonna key everything. Location and rotation. And there we go. Oh, and all the F key stuff. Keyframe all settings. Okay. Good. We made our first pose. Let's actually load the audio into Blender so we can play around with it a little bit. However you do that. Import. Render audio. Well, maybe this will have to wait till next time, I guess. So this was our first pose. Now let's see what we have for the second pose.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice?
Ah, the malice. Opening up the room. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? So I guess we're just rotating all the way to the other side now. Look how all the work pays off that we did for the IK. Oh, we should actually go to a second frame. Does Blender start with frame 0? No, it doesn't. It starts with It starts with frame 1, right? So this actually needs to go to 1. Oh. Okay, so frame 1, frame 2. Going to frame 2 now. Let's switch auto key on, just because I'm sure I'm going to forget something. With this setting on, whenever we move something, it will automatically set a keyframe, and we can't accidentally lose it. So curving more in this direction, curving more here and here. Oh, I like for this arm to be almost straight. Don't want the elbow to pop, but I think that's really nice. Ah, this is cool. Looking into the crowd. And let's reset all the stuff we did in the eye here. Can we just I think that should work. No, it's only the last one. You can't apply it to everything? That's strange. Apply? Oh, not as pose then. Selected as clear transform. All. Yeah. And maybe we should do this for the mouth too. We need some kind of a selection thing. Pose. Clear transform. Oh, we got the hat. Oh no, we got the spine. Spine or the head? I don't know. This was the head. Anyway, clear transform. Let's try that again. Yeah, this is how it should work. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Wonderful. I wonder if he should come forward a little bit. Like he's getting a little more into a more stable sitting position. So you would be coming forward and straightening out a little bit. Yeah, maybe he's not as curved. You can see that in the animatic. He's not as curved. He's just leaned to the right as a whole. So maybe like this. What's happening here? Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Yeah, that's nice. And for some extra craziness, let's do some asymmetry in the face. So ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Oh. We accidentally started working on pose 3, which we didn't want to do. Moving all of that over into the pose here. Yeah. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Malice in that... Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Let's not forget about the tension in the wrists. I think that's a nice little detail here that we should definitely bring into WOP. And too bad that this rig doesn't have an extra finger bone. I'm really gonna miss that. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? That's too much. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Let's see. That's a really good question that Maria is asking there. Can you adjust these sorts of rig structures on the fly? Create and add a finger, for instance. So, there are a couple of dimensions to this question. One that I will specifically run into with them is like pure knowledge. I have to admit that in Blender I don't know how to do it. I could probably I can probably figure it out. And I also know that I saw a little bit of the making of the rig on YouTube, and Lunte and she are using the same rig setup, and she has fingers. So somewhere Lunte might have reminiscence of a finger structure that I can hack into and use. Basically, what I'm missing in Lunte's rig is I have the wrist articulation here, and then I would like for him to be able to do a fist. And right now there is no fist controller. There is a where is it? There is like a deformation controller, like a stretch controller, and the stretch controller could maybe to be used to like fake like a wrist, like a fist, You see, this almost looks like a fist, so I might do that. But the perfect solution would be one more controller here to control the glove, the top part of the glove. And in professional productions come in two flavors, at least the 2D ones that I've been working on and the 3D ones that I've heard about. So at Pixar, at least that was in a bunch of films at Pixar, the animation supervisor was also the person who rigged the character. So if the animation supervisor, who would have very important, very big shots of this character, if they notice that something's missing, they were the rigger, they were responsible to also put that in. I'm actually not sure how common it was, but I heard from a couple of animation supervisors that they wanted to do their own rig, and they did, and whenever something was missing, they added it, and they were sure to notice it because they had some very big shots to animate with them. And in some 2D productions, this is even more wild. In 2D rigs, because they are a lot more simple than 3D rigs, if you had a shot and you would realize, like, hey, I need to do something with this character that it will never ever be able to do outside of this shot, then in 2D, a lot of the times you would still add something to the rig and modify it. This has a downside. The downside is that you might break compatibility with other animations. So if the rig is exactly the same, you have the advantage that you can copy poses, you can copy like things from other shots from other animators. Maybe somebody prepared like a walk cycle and stuff like that, and if you heavily modify the rig, it might no longer be compatible with these animations that you needed to be compatible. So in television animation, especially if it's 3D, I've seen a lot of the time they were a lot more careful with making changes for the rig, because they wanted all the animation to be compatible, and so you can reuse it and copy it. And even in a later episode where you didn't plan for it and you just remember, oh, we had something similar, you can copy it onto the rig. So there were some television productions where I worked on where adding something to the rig outside of the normal development cycle was a bit problematic, because, you know, we were aiming for this compatibility. But yeah, and I'm sure there are also animators who add stuff to a 3D rig just when they need it. I know that Kevin Tammer, who is doing the Digital Circus animation supervision, he is doing a lot of that. A lot of the time he does stuff that the characters shouldn't be able to do. He like rips lines from somewhere else on the body and puts them somewhere to have like wrinkles or something that weren't planned before. Yeah, I don't know. So we might look into how to give Lunti a wrist motion, a finger segment on the glove at some point, because, you know, I don't need it to be compatible with any further future shots, so I might as well add it to it if I can. Okay, so oh, what's going on here? This should be far more down. Yeah, I think something along those lines. Maybe we can put some tension on the thumb here. So at some point I really have to learn how to rig properly. Oh, we have a bunch of things we are animating for the first time, it looks like. No, deselect everything. Those. I do like the thumb coming out of it. That's a nice little detail. I feel like I want to push one of the wrists to like. Do we let him scoot forward? Let's just see how that looks. What is that controller? Oh, that is the backpack. Scoot. It does bring more life into it. And because of the IK, he nicely stays where he's supposed to be. I mean, why not? It's good. Okay, let's deselect everything. How can I have everything shown in the dope sheet? View. Set prearranged as selected. Sync visible. Show markers. There must be a way. To make sure we always see everything. Dope sheet, action editor. Ah! Here, okay. So this is only show selected. This is show hidden as well. And this is only show errors. Okay. Alright. And with E I can just all channels. Key them again, make sure that everything is stable. Let's open the mouth a little bit more and make it a little bit asymmetric. So we would open that, maybe bring that one down, and let's bring that one up more. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Very nice. Let's see.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And
and then we settle for voice. And for voice, we can also show the teeth. I think that would be nice.
oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that?
Oh, this is actually the one where we also wanted to lift the feet for.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice?
For malice, we want to lift the feet, but I don't want to do that with. I don't want to do this with IK because you almost always see it. You almost always, if you're doing this. If you're moving this, you almost always see that it's like doing weird stuff, like going straight up. Like the worst thing you could do is animate it like this. This looks like a marionette, like it's on a string. So the moment the character leaves the ground, I would not, I would switch from IK to FK. And there are some rigs that can automatically put the IK pose onto the FK pose. But I don't think this rig can do that. What to do, what to do. We don't get around it. But, you know, this is kind of also a problem for future me, because what we can do now for post number 2 is we can just... I guess we could go to post number 1, try to match the IK controller like this. The FK controller, pardon me. I mean, it does look like it's kinda lining up, so that's good. Go in here. Okay, could be worse. That's actually less problematic than I thought it would be. So now we can switch from IK to FK. Up here, switching off left thigh. Ah, there you see it morph into... Oh, we need to copy these keyframes over. So we want this, and this, and this, and this one. And now only show us the selected ones. And now we're gonna copy this one over from here to there. Okay. Now, the difference shouldn't be that big, yeah. I can live with that. Let's actually match this to the... There's a little bit of stretch here, that's why it doesn't line up. But we can bring those also back to here, and that should make some of the work a little bit easier. And here, this is the reason why we do all this. Look at how nice this looks if we rotate the leg like that. That's a free swinging leg. This is what we want to have. As soon as the foot leaves the ground, it can be in a different mode of motion. So that is good. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Malice in that voice. And it goes through his whole body. That's so nice. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? A little bit of malice in that voice. Yeah, it's worth it, isn't it? Cool. And this is basically how we have to continue. We did 2 very nice poses, I think. Maybe we should move him a little bit further to the right. A little. Oops. Wrong controller. This one. Kinda what we were teasing in the... Yeah, he's making basically a straight diagonal to the right now. This is more like we have in the drawing. I like that sudden shift from this like bent position to like... There's some rigidness coming into the pose that I think fits very well. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Malice in that voice. Alrighty. So, now a couple of things we can probably steal from the other pose. So, first of all, from the previous pose, we do steal the foot position again. We can modify it. We can modify it, but we might... because we have that IK-FK switch, let's just take that previous pose that we had here and put it back here on pose number 3, and then switch from IK to FK again, because we're now touching the ground again. Whoop. Oh, is that not the... IK pull follow? No, wait a second. IK FK switch here. There we go. Okay. Same goes for wrist and thumb here. We can just take that from the previous pose. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Of malice in that voice?
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And
okay, now we can have everything sort of settle down when he's pulling down for the voice. So how could it settle down? We could settle down by tilting a little bit more forward. And I think I also want to tilt here a little bit so that we have a little bit of motion everywhere, and then most of it is going to be in the head. A little bit of malice in that voice. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Voice. Voice. I guess. How would the mouth shape be? Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Voice. Voice. So the thing is, one of the huge lip sync mistake that a lot of animators are making is you learn that O is always this like O shape, but it's not really. Like you a lot of the times we start with like a library of mouth shapes, and the mouth shape that is labeled O is like this very extreme round mouth shape. But very often, if you have like voice, which is not, first of all, it's not as O as it gets, but also because all the other sounds are so stretched out, you can say voice without going anywhere in that direction. Isn't that a little bit of malice in that voice? Despite there being an O, voice is not a word where you do like voice. Yeah, so I think all we can do is just close the mouth a little bit. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? 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 So it does like the F. I feel like the F does, the V does the most of the O. Voice. And then you open it up again. Yeah. So let's do that. Voice. So this is when it's already open. Voice for the oi. S. And then for this sound, everything is coming a bit together. Oh, I should switch it to normal. So make sure we move it along. Like this, maybe? And now we can switch the teeth back on. Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And let's switch on the face extras. Is it face extras and bring the teeth down? Yeah, I don't want to go as much into the smile right now. Maria says the S in voice is already lending itself to that provoking smile. Yeah, I don't want to play this card right now as strongly as I could with this character, because you know this smile is really crazy. Because there's a later S sound, I think, that I wanted to hit even more. Let's see.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm...
I think for there really never is, I want to have a larger smile. And there really never is. Like, I really want him to go into that wide smile. And then later...
Hearing, if not malice.
It's simply being absolutely correct.
Do you think?
For correct, we can do it too. Correct. The T sound also has the teeth showing. And then we have the yes. So lots of opportunities for a wide smile.
Do you think?
Yes, I think that what you're hearing is just a person who knows beyond all doubt that they are right. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing, if not malice?
It's simply being absolutely correct.
Do you think?
Yes, I think that what you're hearing is just a person who knows beyond all doubt that they are right. Oh, isn't there a little...
Yeah, I think we need to save that card a little bit and only do like a little... How about if he smiles now in the other direction? Malice in that voice.
Bit of malice in that voice. And
but what we can do is go into this. Into the smile in the eyes. I think that would be nice. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Ooh, isn't there a little bit of... Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? I think it's coming along pretty well. I like it so far. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice?
oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is.
And there never is. So what I'm doing right now, that I'm doing one pose after the other in the timeline, is actually the way how a lot of Disney and Pixar animators work, especially if you have a action shot or something. It can make a lot of sense to not overwhelm yourself thinking about timing. Don't think about timing too early. Our brain only has a limited capacity, so one of the best things you can do is just focus on your poses. Don't think about timing. Don't move things around on the timeline yet. We're getting to that later. So we can really just focus on making the poses the best they can be. So see how it continues.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
There never is. There really never is.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is.
Okay. Now he's doing a lean forward and is like, I gotta pull the interviewer in. So for pose number 4, let's find the beginning of the spine and, well, hip, I guess is the hip controller, and reset it to 0. Maybe not all the way to 0. What's happening with the teeth? Will you please fix yourself, teeth? Because I will have no idea how to do it. So there is an angle where the teeth break? Is that just... Okay, but let's not worry about that unless we really actually need that angle. And it might be fixable anyway. So, okay. So maybe straight-ish hip, and then a little bit of a lean forward, like I'm engaging with you. This, and now for the head rotation. For next time, I'm going to look into a selection set plugin that will make it a lot easier. If we keep in mind what our selection sets are, we can just hit those shortcuts, and it will make things a lot easier. Okay, so in the 2D drawing, there's a little bit of like, you know, the lean forward comes from the spine, and then the head is a little bit set to the right. I don't think we can, if we try to do everything correctly, I don't think we can emulate that. Unless we actually pull the head over. Okay. No, let's maybe not do that. Okay. Alright. Now we need to leave IK for the arm, because he's actually moving his... Well, what is actually fixed? Is the elbow fixed or the wrist? No, the elbow isn't fixed, so IK is not helping us. If we want the elbow to stay in place, we need to just always slide it back in place manually. Let's match. Oh, you know what else we need to do? We need to bake our poses. So let's make sure this one is baked. Let's make sure this one is baked. And let's make sure we are going to have a solid pose here. So on the previous pose, let's match the FK more or less. Why did I choose a shot where a character is sitting in a chair, touching the chair with all 4 limbs? Like, will I ever learn? not to do these things to myself. So character interacting with something, that's always the big one. Can I select a chain upwards? That might be Blender select parent controller. Quick select parent. Let's see. In the viewport, it's shift square bracket. This is difficult because on a German keyboard, square bracket is not accessible. You need to press Alt-Gr to get the square brackets. Oh boy. Okay, I'll look into that later. For now, let's just roughly match it and select it and select it and copy that one. There we go. Now we can switch from FK to IK. It's just the upper arm? Yes. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one. And now we are... Maybe let's use this a little bit more. Can we lean more in that direction? Yes. Okay, let's get that elbow there. It's on the chair. And now we can do this. Make sure we rotate the wrist the right way, because if you rotate it the other way around, the computer will interpolate that and you will see it, and you will have a lot of fun flipping your hand for a bunch of poses. Okay. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? But there never is. There never is. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? But there never is. There really never is.
There really never is. It's... Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that?
Isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? But there never is. There really never is.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never.
Okay. Now, before we go on, is this really as far as I want to lean him? Do I want to lean him more? Do I need to correct the elbow here? I don't think I have to. Can't hurt. Oh, I have to. I have to bring it down a bit. There we go. That looks acceptable, maybe? I could also bring the wrist a little bit further up here, so we don't need to worry about him not being on the chair no more. Actually, we could lean the whole thing a little bit further back. This should relax the elbow area a little bit. My cat is back for a visit. Hey, how are you doing? She was probably outside. Hopefully not hunting, because I don't want her to bring anything in today. Ah, hey Martel, nice to see you. How are you doing today? Okay, maybe we could go a little bit further back. It's not pulling the elbow back as much as I thought it would. It's just pulling it up and down, which I guess is fine. And this is pulling the elbow back. Okay. Let's see. Here we got the camera view.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing?
Yeah, this should work. I'm good, Martel. Thanks for asking. This is a voice clip from an improv show called Very Important People from Dropout. And this is a villain. I haven't played the entire snippet in a while, so I could play it again.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing, if not malice?
It's simply being absolutely correct.
Do you think?
Yes, I think that what you're hearing is just a person who knows beyond all doubt that they are right. Oh, isn't there a little bit?
Yeah, that's the clip that we are animating. And I just liked the improv scene so much that I wanted to animate it. And these are 2 rigs that you can find for free on Blender Studio. So I thought this one worked perfectly as the villain, and Gabby's going to be the interviewer. And yeah, it's just, I'm actually a 2D animator, so I felt more comfortable doing this little 2D animatic first in Clip Studio Paint, and now we moved into Blender, copying the poses, and of course trying to move forward and to improve our little scene. I do wonder if a little bit of rotation backwards might be a good idea. Thank you. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. And there never is. Okay. Let's see how the pose looked here.
Malice in that voice, and there never is.
We could have him scoot forward. Actually, he is already quite a ways forward. When did that happen? I think it's because his upper legs are so short. I completely underestimated how short they would be. And he needed a lot of space to lean back initially. I think this is too far forward. What is going on here? Oh, we could just slide him back, I guess. So forward, and then he stays there. Maybe let's take that out, that move forward. That should relax the elbow a little bit, yeah. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? What is happening here? Oh, we are between between FK and IK. I really need to be better with baking my frames. So if we make sure we see everything, we need to set a bunch of keyframes so we make sure we don't break the animation that we already have. If anyone in chat has any questions about art and animation creativity in general, just let me know. We can definitely talk about some things while I'm doing this. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. Let's move the thumb out a little bit. Here. Actually, what is the default position? Let's maybe bring it into the default position and see. Not that we have it all twisted. Okay, this is the default position. Such a little nub. So cute. Okay, I think this works. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is. Good, 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 good. Let's reset the face, specifically the select the eye and clear. What was it? Pose, clear, transform all. Ah, we got the neck. We got the neck. We don't want the neck. Oops. Please deselect this. Now there we go. Clear all. And then maybe we can bring some craziness back into his eyes by stretching them a little bit. And I think what also works very well is to shift them a little bit in one or the other direction. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. Good.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that?
Okay.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is.
So much more leaned forward in the animatic. I wonder if we should reproduce that. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. I think this is better. Lean forward is better. I'm just a bit concerned about the elbow. How do we get the elbow direct back? Here, maybe? No, that does not influence it. I mean, it looks okay in the camera, so we can get away with that. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. Malice in that voice, and there never is. We could also use that.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And
that lifting of the legs to return into a position that is different than in the beginning. I think we have to do that. That would be very nice. That would be a nice little detail, giving us some texture in the motion. Plus we have IK, so it's really easy. All we have to do is correct that foot angle a little bit. Let's reset it to make sure we don't do anything crazy. No. Is it saving the orientation per bone if I change it? It's kind of nice. Or we actually set it down to the floor. We could try how that looks. Not too bad, actually. I think I like that. It really shows that he's a little bit more alert. Now we need to put that whole spiel onto this one. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. Okay. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Voice? Where did the pose go? Did we lose a pose? I think we lost the pose. Good that I set up the undo to save more. Where did it go? What happened? Oh, a little bit of malice in that voice. That's the one. Weird. No idea what just happened. Let's real quick bring it back in that pose. Oh, I copied it over. Okay, I accidentally copied everything. I only wanted to copy the foot. That's what happened. I just really need to be more careful. And then we set 0, 0, 0. But the cool thing about if you do things twice, very often the second version is the better one. Yeah, I realized that I didn't save. Thank you, Maria. Just half a minute ago, I saved for the first time. But Blender does have an autosave, so I think it saves every like 5 minutes or so. And if it crashes, you at most lose 5 minutes of your work, which can still be very annoying. Especially, you know, in 5 minutes might be the breakthrough that you had with your posing. But yeah, autosave is such a good feature. Every software should have autosave. Okay, now we just copy this one and paste it here. And now we still have everything. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? There never is. Or he puts down his oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? There never is. I'm not sure which I like more. When he puts, this is like a bigger change. From here to there is a bigger change. And I kind of like the foot coming in there, but it's on the same side of the hand. Like right now, between those two poses, the hand and the foot would be a rival. And I don't think I want that. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? There never is. And then opposed to, let's do this already here. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Never is. What we also could do is, aesthetically, this might be more pleasing to stabilize this foot. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? There never is. And now you have like this diagonal motion. You have one part of the motion happening here, and the other part happening there. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Or we just don't do it. Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? Maybe we could do with just a very slight modification. Like this. Let's see if that is better. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? But there never is. There really never is. I think this works better. Let's try it again with the audio.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
Yeah.
So what is that
I think over the stretch of time we can soften it a bit. I do want to have the angle to be a little more clear inward though. So, but yeah, I try to be really careful with when I move the feet, because it can make your entire character performance unstable if you do it too early. All right. My cat is leaving me. All right, go outside. Do some frolicking or whatever cats do. Yeah, I think this is turning out pretty solid right now.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing, if not...
Good first stretch. Yeah, if any of you are working on some projects and you would like to get some feedback, you might want to consider to join our group mentoring on Patreon. On Patreon, we have a group mentoring tier where every single month, all the members of the group mentoring come together. You can present whatever you're currently working on. It can be an animation, it can be a character design, a story idea, just the idea for an animation, and I can give you my feedback, annotate over things, animate over things, and help you come up with the best possible concept, the best possible animation, give you all my tips and tricks on how to improve your art and your skills. So if that sounds interesting to you, you might want to check out animatorisland.com/group mentoring, where you can join our Patreon in the group mentoring tier. And of course, you can always, just because, support us on Patreon if you like the live streams that I'm doing, if you like the tutorials on the YouTube channel. Yeah, please consider maybe donating for a couple of months if you have the money. It really helps me out a lot. It helps me to keep this channel alive and do these things with you, working on animation together, creating more lectures and tutorials for different software, 2D and 3D. Really excited to get into Blender more. So yeah, if you want to help me out, that would be highly appreciated. You can do that on patreon.com/animatorisland. Alright. Oh, we already had that music. Let's jump over that. Let's see. A little something lighter. So, let's continue this.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is. I'm actually a little bit scared of closing the eyes of this character. Like, I have no idea how well this is going to work. But we will see. We will see right now. First of all, I'm really excited for this first big head turn. Like, that is so nice to see. So nice to see the hair coming out of the side. I think that's really nice. And we can lean him back a little more. Or a lot more. I think this might be quite nice, as long as we don't press him too far back. We get some contrast. Oh, I always select the wrong... What is going on? What am I actually selecting here? The spine controller. Okay. Yeah, I'm staying away from the IK spine, I have to confess. I don't quite... I don't have much experience with IK spines. I haven't used them. I mean, there must have been rigs that had IK spines that I've worked with, but I can't remember ever using it. Okay, I'm a bit concerned about the hand getting lost in the silhouette here. So we either need to move the hand further down, the arm,
specifically the lower arm, we can just rotate down to get him out of that silhouette of the hair. But also, I do like this angle that we had in the scribble. So I don't know, maybe we should better change something about the hair getting in the way. Or go all the way and have the hair completely in it. And then I think it will already be much easier to read, and probably more a thing of the lighting that and the texturing and the shading that we can see, the hand. Could also turn the spine a little more here. That might help. This looks already so much. Okay, so I think we turned the shoulder too much. We should do most of that with the head. There we go. I think this looks better. Now we just need to replace. We need to put the elbow back on the chair there. Does of course mess a little with the beautiful silhouette that we had earlier. Now we can't quite get the tension because we don't have anything to animate the fingers. I really need to look into how to do that. Like this nice little curve here, we can't get that. We can't get that without being able to have finger bones. I mean, maybe we could do it with the stretch bones, but that's not the best way to do that. Or we do something else crazy with it. We could also have like a kind of like a stop motion. Oh, that's the thumb. Maybe that would work.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing?
That's too strong. But there never is. There really never is. There never is. There really never is. There never is. There really never is. I think we need some motion in the hip. Move him a little bit over. There never is. There really never is. Which would also have us to change. But now the silhouette is nice. See that? That is what I'm talking about. That is the good stuff. That is really coming along how I hoped it would come along. Let's see, have a look at that pose. There never is. There really never is. Okay. Now, putting some work into the facial expression here. Again, we're gonna use local for this one. There really never is. I think I already like that. Because it's another one of these S's. We could pull this one further up and have a deeper dip. Deeper dip here. Oh boy, now for the closed eyes. Let's see. First of all, let's start from undeformed eyes and see how far we get there. Oops, we accidentally selected this one. But other than that, oh no, we selected a bunch of other stuff again. What did we select? Hello? Ah. Okay, and the backpack, which is invisible anyway, we don't need that. There we go. Ooh, you can do that. You can move the eyes out of the mask and it will squish it. That's kind of interesting. Huh. Maybe we can do something interesting with that at some point. First, we're gonna reset everything. Clear transform all. And now we're gonna close his eyes. Let's see how that will look. Going down. I think it would be good if there would be a little bit of glowing left. It would be like... Oh, that looks good already. I guess I was concerned for no reason. This looks good, I like it. Ooh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? But there never is. There really never is. Sweet. I like it. Okay, let's play it again with the sound.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing, if not...
I like it. It's coming together quite well. That's really nice. Yeah. I'm glad that we did that planning though, so I can always look. I think it would take me infinitely longer if I would like do all this moving and, you know, doing something here, doing a little bit there, pulling something out there, pulling something out there. If I didn't have a plan, that I think would make me crazy because I wouldn't know if I make progress, basically. I think that's a good chunk that we did here. Let's have a look at it again. The eye movement really makes it, yeah. You can do so much just through the eyes. It's so wonderful. I'm a big fan of trying to squeeze the full potential out of the eyes. So let's go to the beginning here.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing, if not...
Yeah. Yeah, we are on the right track, people. I think we really are on the right track here. Cool. So I think this is a good stopping point, to be honest, before we jump to the other character. I'm really excited to continue working on this. I hope this is not too boring in the live stream. I try to share interesting stuff whenever I can. I saw that viewer count was fluctuating a lot today. If there's anything, if you have any topics or anything to make this more interesting for you, or if you're missing like if I'm skipping over steps and not explaining them, you can always stop me and ask like, hey, what did you do right there? Why did you do it like that? I would love to explain everything that I do. Like, I don't want to keep anything a secret. I want to let you in on my entire process. This is the reason why I'm streaming this. Because this way you really get... I know, you know, nobody has time to watch stuff that long, but in theory, I want this to preserve every single thing that I was thinking and how I was thinking to create this animation. Yeah, if there's anything that could make this more interesting to you, please let me know. But yeah, I think we're gonna do this as a test to see if people like it. We're gonna animate the entire thing on stream. I'm not gonna do much off stream. Maybe, you know, get the scene ready with the other chair, place the character in it. But other than that, I think I'm gonna do everything on stream. Yeah. I hope everybody's doing well. I really enjoyed your input in the chat. Thank you so much for everybody who was talking in the chat. It's always nice to hang out with you and to hear what's going on with you and to hear your perspective and your inputs. Always a lot of fun. And yeah, I really enjoy our cozy live streams. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend that you can continue now. Have a great Sunday. Work on your personal projects. Try to do some stuff that is fun to you. And be creative just for yourself. Just to feel alive and to explore what you want to explore. That's the best kind of living there is. Yeah, thank you also very much for watching. Very much looking forward to the next one, which might actually be on Monday. I don't have the stream schedule pulled up anywhere, but I announced the date down there in the video description. And if it's on Monday, I guess I'll see you Monday. Have a great rest of your day. See you then. Bye bye. Let's have a look at it again.
Oh, isn't there a little bit of malice in that voice? And there never is. There really never is.
So what is that I'm hearing?
Wonderful. Bye bye.